This project began with me wanting to use all the sea glass that I've collected on Nova Scotia beaches for years. I wanted to use it all on this project, but it ended up with me using shattered plate glass instead. If you keep watching, I'll show you how I did it and why. So I wanted something a little more interesting for a work surface other than a rectangle. So I bought all kinds of different sizes of wood panels at the art store and began trying to arrange them in a pleasing manner. So I had 9 different panels and 9 different sizes and also 2 different levels, which I glued on the wrong way, but then had to correct. Anyway, that gave me some trouble in assembling my canvas, but we never let trouble stop us, right? Now, I bought some steel bars there to strengthen the back after I'd screwed all the panels together. And then I used molding paste to level and clean up some of the surfaces. It was different, interesting, and fun. And 6 months later, our LED lights arrived. Yay! Not only were we limited to specific sizes and shapes of LED panels available, but we also didn't know they were 2 different colors of white. One was better. Now it was time for Michael to wire up all the lights and figure out a power source for them that wasn't too heavy. You'll see a completed picture of the back later on. But first we have to talk about the surface on which my sea glass was going to be attached. How are we going to separate the panels from the lights? These are the plexiglass panels that I had a company cut out for me and that I'd sanded down to make very translucent. But we still were figuring out how to lift these plexiglass panels above the wood and the lighting. Would the lights be too obvious and too strong? We really wanted the lights diffused. Yeah, this whole project was a brain teaser from beginning to end. Here is Michael's elaborate design of the side supports that he would print on his handy dandy 3D printer. There were a total of 33 pieces of side supports. Then came a test fit, and lighting test, and thank God that Michael is really precise in his work. There were not very many problems to fix.
It's a big one. That's what the last print I did.
Okay, so hold that with your hand. I'm just going to poke. Oh, that's good.
Of course it's good. Of course it's good.
Now it's all been checked, and so finally we can close it up.
this is the power supply. The power comes in here. There's a strain relief here so that if it's pulled, it's not going to disconnect. Mm-hmm. And then the 12 volts DC comes through all these wires and is distributed to the lights. But first, it actually has to go to this control box here. And this is what controls the light. So it allows me to dim the light using this potentiometer, and I can turn it like this. So as I turn this, it sets the brightness, and that's distributed to all of these LEDs. So it's a really robust support.
Yeah. Great. So half the project is done.
Just the preparation.
While Michael was working on the lighting and the side panels, printing those on his printer, I started playing with my sea glass, sorting them according to size, and yes, even counting them. And soon you'll notice that I had actually acquired some more glass, but not sea glass, it was shattered glass, and I'll explain how I got it. A few months prior, a plate glass panel on my brother-in-law's stair surround just up and shattered. He had done nothing to cause that, it just happened. And suddenly I had all these beautiful pieces of broken glass. And as sharp as they were, I knew I could upcycle them in some way. So I excitedly got down to work. I was really liking how the sea glass and the shattered glass looked together. And to help my design, I asked Michael to make me some lines and curves on his 3D printer. And at this point, I wanted to start using some glue. Everything was very precarious. Any sudden move or bump would just destroy what I had. I tried both Weld-A-Bond and silicone on the guides. Both worked just fine. But for the pouring part, the liquid glue, I think I used some thin down pouring medium for starters, because I wanted something a little thicker than regular acrylic varnish. My basic rule is the smaller and thinner and more movable the pieces are, the thinner the glue I use. If they're heavy pieces, I use something like E6000. At this point, it's like, let's see what happens.
All right. So, disaster has struck. I'm not sure you notice it, but I have this section here that I've gotten out. That is glued in, and about this area, almost everything you see here is glued in. And I've waited a day, and I've tried to heat my hairdryer on this area right here. It's still quite hot. But you see the dark areas, I'm gonna see how far I can zoom in. The dark areas, they're a little bit yellow. It's undried glue. There's a little bit more over there. It's all undried glue, and it looks terrible, in my opinion. Something has to happen. I either have to rip this all off and re-glue it with a different glue, or wait a week to see if this stuff will actually dry. I don't know what's going to happen. The thing is, when I turn this light off, you'll see now, I'm turning the light off. There. So, if we turn the light off, you can see it looks kind of fine. I like it. I like the look of it when the light is off. However, it's supposed to be with the light on. Anyway, a little sad about this. Wow. What could go wrong? I got it on my deck and I wrapped some plastic around it in case it decides to rain, since we do live in Nova Scotia.
And as you can see, I decided to tear the whole thing off. I tried acetone and heat. It seems that scraping with a chisel was the best thing to separate the plastic on top from the plastic underneath. And on top of it, I had the job of freeing my sea glass from all that old glue.
Here we are again, finally back at this project. So the last time I was here a few weeks ago, because I've been taking care of a friend who's disabled and not well. Anyway, she was over and I was not able to do stuff, and that's okay. So now I have decided to switch to this, and look at the beauty of it. Look at the beauty. It's just gorgeous. It's almost like diamonds. Like those redneck diamonds from car glass, broken car glass. Anyway, they're completely flat. So when I glue these pieces down, big or small, there will be no air pockets. Yeah, no air pockets underneath because it's completely flat. I'll just have to be careful because this is super sharp. So still getting ideas.
You might be wondering what I had in mind while I was working on this. As is par for the course in my artwork explorations, I didn't plan ahead of time for this piece to represent a bride. The idea came to me as I began working on it. And switching over from sea glass to shattered glass just emphasized the whole idea to me of the body of Christ, who will be the bride. For we are a many-membered body made up of a multitude of individuals. We all have different shapes, sizes, and purposes, but currently we are all broken in some way, and we've been shattered in life. Not one of us is perfect, yet if you look deep inside, each of us is just stunning to look at. In the end, we see it, that Jesus fits us all in together perfectly. As I searched patiently and diligently through my collection of glass, I was delighted every time I found the perfect piece of glass for each space that I needed to fill. So you've noticed that this is a very abstract image of a bride. The circle at the top represents the head of the bride, with an appropriately fancy hair updo. And as you go down the piece, I imagined a cinched waist and a long, flowing, multi-layered dress with lots of folds and loose ruffles at the bottom. In the end, the bride of Christ will be a beautifully assembled being with everyone fitting happily into place, and she'll be functioning perfectly according to God's plan.
I'm just doing a video at this point because I think I am at least halfway done now. This area is done here, and this area over here is done. Can't see the circles very easily. Anyway, and this is just all a mess here. I'm just where I'm finding the pieces that I need, and I'm starting to kind of fix a lot of areas in here because I had pulled out pieces all over this area. I pulled out pieces so that I could get that circle up there. Anyway, this is done, and this, so from about here on, I'm done all the way up to the top. Oh, is that unfocusing? Anyway, I'm making progress. So then this is the largest area here, and then this long thing down there. I think that I'm at least halfway. Yay! Let's see if we can get the whole thing now. There we go. Pretty excited. I'm not quite finished, but almost. Today might be my last day of fitting in these pieces. Maybe turn the light on. I don't know if that's easier or more difficult to see. Anyway, it's easier to see the circles and arcs and lines. So this is all this done, except this little area. One day left, maybe two. And then comes the gluing process. Yay. Ta-da. You think that's gonna go in? Uh-oh, there's a little hair. I got it. That kind of created a little triangular space here. I think I have a little triangle for that. Or how about a little rectangle? Yeah. That fit. There. There. Okay, yay, done.
You might guess that I was a little nervous applying glue to all of this glass that I'd spent so long applying or setting up. But there I go, and the glue that I ended up using, I'm pretty sure was acrylic varnish, because it was the thinnest stuff that I could find, and I knew it dried clear. And I needed it to seep into all the tiny places.
Anyway, so here it is. The glazing medium has almost dried. It's been maybe half a day. There's still some areas that need to dry, and I'm praying they will dry clear. However, what happened is all of the reflective qualities, as you can see here, the glass is reflecting upon itself, and so the edges are darker, and it just looks like there's a lot more texture there. And you know, I am a texture lover, so I was really loving the look of it. However, those kind of go away. I think some reflective qualities have been lost, but it is what it is. So in general, it's a little bit softer. Anyway, so, oh well. That's how this goes. So I have poured varnish on this lower section, on the 3 lower sections, and pouring medium on the upper sections. And it never occurred to me that I should protect my edges here. And what happened? I'll tell you what happened. The knob is stuck. This knob makes the lights light and dark, and it's stuck because I allowed the stuff. Well, I don't know, how would I have stopped it? I don't know, because I think it went behind the wall here.
So now it's done, and I just wanted to show you what it looked like in natural light and up close. It's beautiful, and I'm very happy with it. And it doesn't come through in photographs though, the beauty of the mosaic, of the glass mosaic. I think I would need a professional photographer to be able to photograph this properly. And here are my photographs of no light, low light, and a little bit higher light hanging on the wall in our house.
And anyway, because how do I explain the back? But this was a project that probably I'm really not ready to talk. I forget. Oh yeah. This is a piece I want to talk about. I want to talk about this piece. Okay, this is a piece I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about it. And I call it The Bride. The Bride. It's a mosaic of shattered glass. It's a mosaic of shattered glass. So I'll explain the process. Well, the process. And the process. Anyway, I've got to stay on the side so that you can't see my fire extinguisher. I'm going to try to stand in front of this fire hydrant so it's not so noticeable. Anyway, one thing I wanted to mention. This video camera, which is not a video camera, it's an iPhone, but maybe not. My husband calls it a light fixture.